Puppets, fun and mime. Welcome to the story time. Hello, Augustians. Today we have another story, and this story is from the Pratham books. The title is Jadav and the Tree Place, written by Vinayak Verma. Now, this is Jadav, a tree planter. He loves tree places because they are full of life. No tree places make him terribly sad because they are full of dead things. No tree means no lives, right? Years ago, Jadav was walking along the banks of the great Brahmaputra river when he arrived at a big, empty, no tree place. It was dry and hot. The sand was powdery and striped. Striped sand? How odd! Jadav went closer to have a better look. Oh, but they weren't stripes at all. The ground was covered in snakes. Last night's floods must have washed them ashore, Jadav thought. These snakes weren't slinking and slithering and swaying about like regular healthy snakes. When Jadav walked among them, they didn't hiss or run or try to bite him. They just lay about like old ropes, tired and still. Poor snakes, they're dying from the heat. If only they had some shade to lie in. If only this no tree place had some trees in it. Jadav couldn't bear to watch the snakes die. It made him so terribly sad that he sat down and began to cry. But he quickly came back to his senses. No more crying. From now on, only trying. He jumped up, ran back to his village, and began collecting all the bamboo shoots he could carry in his bag. Regular plants won't grow in the hot sand, but bamboo will. Bamboo is strong. Jadav brought the shoots to the no tree place and started planting them everywhere. It was hard, hot work, and it took years. The river grew thin one summer and flooded the next, sometimes bringing more sand and sometimes taking it away. Heavy rains came and went, but Jadav kept on planting. In time, the bamboo took root and began to grow. As it grew, it brought shade, and the shade brought insects. The insects burrowed into the ground, and the earth below the bamboo trees began to change. The dry and white became rich and brown, and the dead sand became living soil. Jadav was no longer sad. But he wasn't happy either. He looked around his bamboo grove and thought, a few trees' place is nice, I know. But how wonderful it would be if this were a many trees' place. The idea thrilled him. So Jadav went back to his village and began collecting many more seeds and saplings. He filled 3 big bags with Arjun and Izar and Gulmohar and Koroi and Moj and Himolu. So many varieties of trees, Augustians. And he thought to himself that our few trees place has lovely brown soil. We can plant all these and more. Jadav brought his new saplings and seeds to the few trees place and planted them all around. It was hard work. His back hurt and it took many years. The orange and blue skies turned purple and pink and villages became towns. The wind grew laden with dust and the river became grey. But Jadav's insect friends helped to till the soil, and his tall bamboos gave him shade and cooled the air. And Jadav kept on planting. Soon his Arjun, Ijar, Gulmohar, Koroi, Moz, and Himolu and all his many other plants dug in, took root, and started growing. As they grew, they spread new seeds, and the new seeds in turn took root. Shoots became trunks, trunks grew branches, and the branches reached for the sky. The few trees place that was once a no tree place now became a wonderful green Many trees place. But what's a many trees place without many tree creatures? When one came, the others followed. Can you guess who all came, Augustians? Let me tell you. First came the birds. They flocked and flew in from near and far to make their nests in Jadav's tree place. Cheep, cheep, cheep. There were vultures and pelicans and storks and ducks and warblers and thrushes and wagtails and chats. Next came the animals. They skipped and swung and sauntered in to make their homes in the many trees place. There were buffaloes and deer and rabbits and gibbons, and elephants and tigers and rhinos. Finally, there came the snakes. They slithered and swayed and sashayed in to cool themselves in the shade of Jadav's trees. Snakes were back, yes! When Jadav saw the snakes, he sat down and cried happy tears. He was so happy that he was not even afraid of getting bitten. Jadav's tree place had filled with feathers and beaks and wings, with claws and tails and fangs. There were spots and splashes, stripes and flashes, and green, green, green everywhere. The tree place was a forest at last, and Jadav was a happy man. Then Jadav had another thought. Many trees in one place is good, I know. But how wonderful it'd be if there were many trees in every place. So he grabbed his bags of seeds and started walking across the world. And as he walked, Jadav started planting the seeds in all the no tree places he saw. And he planted and planted and planted. But there are so many no tree places in the world. There are more no tree places than tree places now. This is terribly sad. But Jadav does not sit down and cry this time. Jadav plants and plants and plants some more. It's going to be hard work bringing all the old forests back. The seas have begun rising and the winds grow cold. Towns have become cities and Jadav is growing old. But he keeps on planting and planting and planting. Jadav will keep on planting until the whole world is a happy, lovely, lots of trees place. So that was the story of Jadav for you. Isn't it inspiring, Augustians? Doesn't it make you believe that if you believe in something, you can achieve it? And if you need any more motivation, let me tell you, this is a real life story of Jadav Mulai Payang, who's a conservationist and recipient of the Padma Shri, one of the highest civilian honors awarded by the Indian government. Jadav lives in Majuli, Assam. This is the story back in 1979 when he saw the dying snakes at the age of 16, and that's when he started planting bamboos. Over the next 3 decades, Jadav and his tree plantings have managed to change the soil in the barren area. The 550-hectare sandbar is now a lush, dense forest and home to so many animals. So where there is a will, there is always a way, Augustians. Ta-da! Until next time. Bye-bye.